This store here is doing three things that cause most people to make no sales and ultimately fail and shut down their store. They're also doing some things that I love, things that I usually try to do on my stores, and I think that they actually help us to make more sales. Now, the name of this store is ambitioncanvas.com. I don't know for sure if this is actually a print-on-demand store, but there's nothing they're doing that we can't do with print-on-demand. And they're making some mistakes that most beginners make themselves as well, but the problem is most people don't know they're actually making them. And if you don't know you're making mistakes, then time's going by, you're not making sales, and you're not fixing the problem. As you know, on my channel here, all I do is review print-on-demand stores. I'm scrolling through the store so that way you can sort of take it all in before I start reviewing it. Definitely make sure to check out some of the other videos here on my channel. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the things that I like about this store, and we're also going to be talking through the things that I think they need to improve. And the hope is if you are running your own store that you'll be able to take some of the things that I talk about in this video today and apply them to your own store. If you want to get your store reviewed, make sure to join my free course. There's a link in the description of this video. I also have a print-on-demand Facebook group. We have over 100,000 people inside of it. And like I said, if you wanted to get your store reviewed in a video like this, you can submit it there. Now, before I show you the things that I think they're doing wrong, I want to show you 5 things that I think they've done really well. The first is the name of their store, ambitioncanvas.com. This is a good name because they're creating motivational canvases, and the term ambition basically relates to that. They've also got the word canvas in their name. It's just 2 words, it's not too long, and I think it works nicely for what they're trying to do. The second thing is the colors on their store. You can see that they've kind of played up this black and this green look. They had some green up at the top. They also have some green down here inside of some of these buttons. They also have some green in their footer as well. Whenever you're building a store, color schemes are important, and you should take notes from this store because they've done it in a really subtle way, but the impact is still felt. The next thing they've done really well is this stack and save offer. Anytime you're selling anything on your print-on-demand store, you always want to have some sort of discount available, and this store here actually gets bonus points because they are encouraging people to buy more. If they buy 1 canvas, they get 30% off. If they buy 2 or 3, they get more than that. This is an incentive for people to spend more on their store, and it is a good thing. The next thing they're doing really well is they are capturing reviews from customers. Social proof on a print-on-demand store is arguably one of the most important parts, especially when you are marketing products on social media. People are going to be discovering your store, and they have likely not seen you before. So having customer photos like these here is an amazing way to convince them that your store is trustworthy. Now, a lot of print-on-demand beginners that I talk to will say things like, Joe, if I haven't made any sales yet, how am I going to actually get reviews on my store? And obviously, that's a little bit of a conundrum. If you don't have any customers, how will you actually show customer reviews? One of the biggest tips that I could give you would be to make sure that you order yourself some samples of your products. Once you do that, you could actually review the products yourself. You could also have people that you know, I'm talking about friends or family, you could have them submit some sort of a review as well. Obviously, if you wanted to, instead of saying customer photos, you could just say something like user photos and videos, or you could write something instead of like customer reviews, it could say something like what people are saying. That way, again, you're not saying that these are from customers, but they are in fact real reviews because they're coming from real people. Now, the next thing they're doing really well is they have a 30-day return policy, and they're allowing people to return the product for any reason. Now, honestly, this is something that I've experimented with a little bit, and I have found that most people really don't have any reason to want to return the product. And if you're doing this, you're likely not going to see a lot of people asking for returns either. In fact, you might actually make more sales because people are going to trust this this a little more, knowing that if they have an issue, they'll be able to get a refund. So to me, this is something great that this store is doing. And at the beginning of the video, I told you if you wanted to get your store reviewed, you could join my free course. Inside of my free Shopify course, I have over 30 videos showing you how to build your store and even get started with social media marketing. There's a link down in the description, and like I said, it's completely free. There's also my Facebook group for print-on-demand sellers. We have over 100,000 members there, and if you want to get your store reviewed in a video like this, you can check out that group and share your store there. What I want to do now is take you through the store and talk about some of the things that I think they need to improve and some things that I think are holding them back from actually making sales. The first thing is right here. Now, most print-on-demand beginners think that doing something like this is painless, but the problem is they actually do have the Mercedes logo inside of their design. This is a trademarked logo, and you definitely don't want to include things like that in any of your designs. Inside of their menu, they actually have a cars tab as well, and when we look at some of these designs here, each one of them actually say the name of the car. Right here it says Dodge. This one here is not entirely visible, but there is some text on the front of the car. This one here appears to be a Ferrari, and if you do look, they do have some of the vehicle names inside of their product titles. Again, this would be something that I would avoid doing. The second thing is they've made some sloppy mistakes in a couple of key spots. You can see up in their menu, the word mission is not capitalized. Now, anytime you're creating a menu, you're going to want to capitalize all the letters of the words. Just like here in this headline, they capitalized each letter of each word because this is a headline, right? Inside of a menu, you're going to want to do the same thing. They also down here did not capitalize the letter C. I didn't really look through every single page on this store to see if there was other capitalization issues like that, but just make sure as you're building your store that you actually capitalize the first letter of each word if it's some sort of a headline or menu on the store. The next thing they've done is here inside of their frequently asked questions section, they are telling people to send an email to a Gmail email address. This is something I would never do. I would always make sure that I go and get myself a branded email, something that has my domain name in it. That is going to be much more professional and is way more typical for most successful print-on-demand stores. Another thing is that the store actually doesn't really have a logo. It's just text. I typically always like to include some sort of icon or some sort of graphic in the logo. I don't think you need to go overboard with like a big piece of artwork or anything like that. Basically, all of the logos that I've ever created have always been some sort of an icon with some text next to it. Basically, that text is going to be the name of the store, and to me, this is just a little bit plain, and personally, it doesn't match what I always try to do. The last thing, though, is the store kind of feels a little bit blank, and what I mean by that is as you scroll through on the homepage here, yes, there is about 12 product images, but when it comes to like content on the page, there's really nothing else, right? There's a lot of formal frequently asked questions down here at the bottom. Personally, what I like to do is treat my homepage sort of like a brochure, meaning I want to tell people on the homepage a little bit about the brand, a little bit about maybe why it started, some of the really cool parts about my products, why the products are great, maybe like 3 different features about them. If you go to one of their product pages, you'll also see that inside of their product images, they have a couple of images like this here that kind of show that the product is ready to hang, that it has a premium wood frame, that kind of information, or even those images could be great to include on a home page. Now, I probably would have also tried to do the same thing on a product page here. When you land on the product page, yes, you have some good stuff up top here inside of the buy box. You've got the stack and save graphic. They're showing some reviews. All of the options are here. They have the compare at price as well. The problem is when you scroll down, there's really not much here to sell the product. They just kind of jump right into reviews. Personally, I would like to add a section or two to this page that basically speak to some of those things that I said that I would include on the home page. You could create a section on here where you talk about the frames. It's also offered in 4 different types of frames. Something about that on the page could be great as well. At the end of the day, these are canvases that are quite pricey. If I click through the different options here, you'll see that the largest option here is going to go up to over $500 for the 40 by 60 gallery wall art. This this is something that if you're going to make a $500 sale, you need to have some great images showing this product. Simply switching to this image here, which really isn't a mock-up, it's just a white background with the design on it and then a shadow around it. I think ultimately if this is going to work, you're going to need to show people some better product images. Ultimately, like I said, I don't think this store is far off. There is a lot here that I like. I just think some of those things that I just went through is holding this store back from everything that it could actually be. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And like I said, if you enjoyed this store review, make sure to check out some of the others here on my channel. And if you want to get yours reviewed, make sure to check out the free course and the Facebook group. They're linked down in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.